The upcoming Umamusume update on the 11th of November is so huge that most of the other content creators are making hour-long information sessions, but you don't have the time for that. Don't worry, in this video, I'll summarize all you need to know for the new patch. We will start off with the skill changes. First off, Umastand will be a good speed skill for pace, late, and closer because it will almost activate every time. They changed the condition from having 4, 5, 6, 7 UMAs near you into only needing 3 UMAs, and if the race has been ongoing for 5 seconds at least. Nimble Navigator and No Stopping Me also got a really huge buff. The activation condition changes from being blocked in front into in front near you for 1 second. What this means is that the other UMA can be on another lane in front of you besides your UMA, and it doesn't mean that it has to be hard blocked in front of your UMA. So it means that even if your UMA is passing or trying to overtake, this skill can still activate. It's basically a gambling acceleration skill and it is viable for every style. It also needs to be added that this skill is not really good on sprint and mall distance because the UMA will spread on the final corner, making it proc less. This skill has higher activation rate on medium and long distance track, where the start of the last spurt will be a straight instead. Lane movement speed also got buffed, and so does prudent positioning and dodging danger. Both of these skills increase your lane movement speed. Now, why is this actually important? It is only important mostly for the front runners. If you have seen this clip of Seiyun Sky zooming as the start of the gate, you will understand. So, how does this happen? When you're moving side to side with the movement speed skill active, you gain a plus 0.5 speed. So, that's why you see that Seiyun Sky is zooming. In addition to this, you want to combo at least 2 movement skill, which is Dodging Danger and Prudent Positioning, or Aoharu with skill. Dodging Danger will be your skill to move out, and Prudent Positioning or Aoharu with skill will be your move in skill. So, if you only take Dodging Danger, let's say, your UMA will get stranded on the outside and takes way longer to go back in, and will actually make you lose length on certain race courses. In demonstration from the GIF, here is the activation point of Dodging Danger, so the Saiyan Sky goes to the other side. After that, it activates Prudent Positioning to get back in front. Early lead or taking the lead also gets a major buff. Instead of having to wait for 5 seconds, it can now activate instantly. So, this is usually paired with groundwork for massive starting acceleration. You might have noticed that now frontrunners will need to get the positioning skill, early lead, and groundwork on top of it. Keen Eye also gets a huge buff. The activation condition now becomes early race, later half, and it now becomes a debuff skill and recovery skill on top of it. It decreases your opponent UMA speed by 0.2%. Aside from that, a couple of mile skills also become really good. First off is Malmaven. This gold skill now changed from needing the first position into being below the 5th position. And if you're running this as a pace chaser or front runner, it will activate and it's mostly just a wit check. Speed Eater also gets buffed, so instead of being the first position, this speed debuff skill now goes up to the 3rd position. So it's good for your front runner or if you are planning to make a front runner blocker. Corner skills also gets a massive change. Previously, corner skills like Curvature of Curvature will always activate on the first corner on every race course. This is no longer the case, as now corner skills can activate on any random corner. We also got some additional skills alongside with these skill buffs. Here are all of it. All that there is a medium distance speed skill, early gambit is a speed skill for the end closer, questionable strategy, a speed skill at the cost of your stamina, head to head, a pace chaser gambling acceleration skill similar to on your left, and we also get a new green skill which is runaway or great escape and is currently only exclusive to Silent Suzuka. That's it for the skill changes. Let's talk about the UMA changes. Starting off with probably the biggest hype, which is Taiki Shuttle. Taiki Shuttle unique shooting for victory is now final corner later half instead of final corner. And this is changed from the 3rd to 5th position into 3rd to 4th position. Now, the hype is for the upcoming CM5 where this acceleration unique is viable. And yes, it can be used for CM5, although only about half the duration will be active. But still, it is a strong acceleration skill. If you inherit this, it will only have about 2.4-second duration and it will not last at the start of the spurt if you activate it too early. Taiki also has Malmaven, which is a good gold speed skill for CM5. So yes, she is one of the strongest Uma for the next CM5 or Virgo Cup. Next, we have Suzuka. Suzuka is really interesting because she will be our first Great Escape Uma. The main takeaway from this is that the current global version will not be able to reach the stats requirement to run this as an ace. Because if there is two Great Escape, the stamina requirement jumps up really high, up to 1100 stamina plus 1 gold recovery for CM5. However, you can build her as a blocker to simply deny angling and scheming of the other frontrunners. You just slap in groundwork, early lead, lane movement skill, concentration, and you're good to go. Her unique also got buffed from final corner into halfway through the race, so it's pretty much easier to activate the skill. In general, it is better to build her as a normal frontrunner ace instead of the Great Escape ace due to the stamina requirement. Because if we see her kit, she still have early lead, concentration, and a good unique, making her one of the best frontrunner for the CM5. Next, we have Special Week. Special Week's unique is now really good. The old unique used to only give you bonus speed if you overtake on the late race, but now she basically gets a free acceleration and bonus speed when she overtake on the late race and above the 5th position. Narita Taishin also got a bit of a buff. Her unique got a little bit better, which allows her overtake condition on the final corner and beyond instead of only the final corner. They also make the restriction a bit more lenient from 5th to 7th place to 4th to 7th place. Rush Shower also got completely a new unique. So instead of overtaking on the final corner when above the 4th position, her unique now becomes if she overtakes on the late race, on the last straight she gets a speed boost. Now, what's more important for Rush Hour though is Determine Descent. This skill becomes really good because of the downhill changes that will be added into couple race courses. She basically have a really strong acceleration skill on certain maps. Fujiki Seki also gets a little buff where her condition becomes more easy to activate. It allows the Uma that is behind to be a little further on the other lanes beside her. Narita Bryant gets a new break condition on her unique, and if she gets blocked in the middle leg, her unique gets additional 1% when it actually activates. TM Opera O unique now becomes so easy to activate, it went from being blocked on all sides to become only if she is behind another Uma or in front of an Uma. Another major buff is to Agnes Tachyon. Agnes Tachyon unique now gains speed on her unique on top of her recovery skill, which make it a really good unique. Daiwa Scarlet's unique now has another activation condition, being if she's on the second position and is trying to do an overtake, she can also activate her unique. This means that you can set up a Daiwa rocket with a Great Escape Suzuka, so Suzuka can just dive from the first position into Daiwa rocket. Mayano has a crazy event, which gives her good skills for all styles if you win G1 races with all of her running styles. She also gets a crazy fast learner event, which is this event right here. So, how this activates is that if you hit 500 width before this procs, you basically get a guaranteed fast learner. So, this is an OP event for Mayano. The fantasy version of Grass Wonder and Super Crit Unique also get buffed. The recovery increased from 5.5% to 7.5%. The inherit goes up from 1.5% to 3.5%, meaning it is now a good inherit for a recovery skill. Alright, moving on to the support cards. There are a lot of minor changes to the chain event, but the most notable one is Smart Falcon First Chain event. It now gives you a guaranteed groundwork, which means it's now easier to parent farm groundwork. And you basically can just run this card if you are too lazy for the parent grind on your aces. The second biggest card that got a buff is Airshaker with card. This card now gets straightaway spurt guaranteed hints on the second chain event. So yes, it makes the straightaway spurt parent grind easier and you can just fit this card in your deck. Not forgetting to mention that Unyielding, which is the gold skill of this card, also gets buffed. It got acceleration on top of the existing bonus target speed. Some other notable ones are Stamina Sakura Chiono O, getting guaranteed speeds on her third event chain, and Guts Grass Wonder, getting guaranteed Furia speed on her gold skill as well. The last change for the support card, our friend cards also got buffed. They now can do the 5th dating event, although they still cannot give you the gold skill of the card. So if you want concentration, you still need to run the SSR version of Tazuna. We've come to the last section, which is the mechanics. The most important one that will drop in this patch is the Guts rework. What changes to the Guts is that now, Guts is used to increase the last spurt speed. Here is the formula changes to the last spurt speed from the race mechanics document. They also added 2 new mechanics alongside the Guts rework that utilize the Guts stats itself. Spot Struggle is a unique mechanic specifically designed for front runners and Great Escape. This condition can trigger 150 meter after the race start until the start of middle leg. The effect of this mechanic is that in this condition, your frontrunners gain extra target speed at the cost of your stamina. The strength and duration of this condition is based on your gut stat. Here is the extra stamina usage if you want to know how much they consume when activated. This spot struggle also only activates between frontrunner and frontrunner and Great Escape against Great Escape. So if it's a frontrunner against Great Escape, it will never activate. The other new mechanics is dueling. This is a condition that happens in the final straight. Basically, your Uma is directly close or competing with another Uma on the final straight. In this state, all of the Uma will gain more target speed and acceleration based on the GAT stat. So this is basically good for all the styles. We also get hill changes as mentioned in the patch update, and what this means is now downhill are added to certain maps that used to not have it. For example, on Hanshin 2200 meter turf, this race course used to not have any downhill at all. Now, after the update, it will get the downhill section. What this means is that skills like straight descent will be good for CM5. We also get another change mentioned in the patch note, adjusted racer positioning at the final corner, allowing them to line up more easily. What this means is simply, now, during the final corner, your Uma will spread out horizontally, trying to get a good spot for the last straight, compared to the old one in our version, where it is very easy to get blocked. So this is a huge buff to a certain unit, like Narita Taishin for example. That's it, that's all you need to know for the upcoming patch in the 11th of November. Let me know if I missed any important changes, as I'm basically just summarizing hours of footage and my own research. As always, thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next one.